All right, well, today we're doing pre-algebra order of operations in Kumon book, page 79. So I'll put up the whole problem. We want the answer in fractions. So we're going to be converting this decimal to a fraction, doing the subtraction, doing the exponent, then doing the dividing, and then going back and multiplying it. It's a lot of steps. So we could go ahead. I already asked Lila. 1 5/9 in an improper, and you said 14/9. And we're going to have to come back to that because that's actually our last step, right? So what is 0.65 as a fraction? And then let's do the subtraction first because it's part of those parentheses.
65 over 100.
So I'm just going to circle. We're working on this step. And then reduce it. We want a denominator of 20, so let's just reduce it. 65 over 100 is equal to what 20ths? We're going to divide by 5 on the bottom, divide by 5 on the top. So what's 65 divided by 5?
13.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my process, how we got 13/20ths. And now I'm just going to erase this. So we have 19/20ths take away 13/20ths. So what's our answer to the parenthesis, to this blue circle?
6/20.
Okay, can you reduce that?
Three over 10.
All right. 3/10. Let's put that in blue. So I show that that blue circle came out to 3/10. So what's our next step?
The exponent.
Right. So now we're actually going to do the 3/10 squared. What does that give us?
9 over 100.
Good. What's our next step?
You could have divided by 3 over 20.
Good. Which is multiplying it by
20 over 3.
Okay. And what's our next step?
Cross multiply.
Cross cancel.
Cross cancel, yeah.
Right. We want them to go smaller. So what is this going to look like after both diagonals are cross canceled?
3 over 5 and 1 over 1.
Good. So it's just 3/5, right?
Yeah.
So that 3/5, I don't know if this is making it more confusing or if it's helping to put it in color. That 3/5 is this entire bracket, right? That entire peach bracket is 3/5. So now we need to do 14/9 times 3/5, and that'll be the final answer.
(14/15).
Yep, there you go.
I have no idea what I did wrong.
So when you do this on your own, is it a matter of knowing which step to do next? Sometimes I think we get intimidated because we're looking at so many different things, exponents, fractions, decimals, right? That I think maybe it just freezes the brain.
Yeah.
Do you want to go down to number 2?
Yeah. I did 4. I actually got that one right. So.
Okay, good. What else do you need besides number 2?
I couldn't figure out 3 on 82.
Okay. So you're good with the rest of these ones on page 79?
Sure.
All right, let's do number. You did need number 2?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll go to that other page. So walk me through what order the steps are going to go in.
The parentheses first.
And then
The left side of the bracket.
yeah, then we just go left, right. We'll have a 3 times something divided by something. We'll have to change these to improper. Now, do we have to change the first one here to improper?
No.
Do you remember this is optional? Some people might want to change it to improper, like it'll just keep everything clean. Actually, it has to be improper. Like our answer has to be in the form of an improper fraction anyway. So we might as well. So let's do that. So we have 4/3, take away 1/4. What's the common denominator and what are the new fractions going to be?
12's the common denominator, and it's going to be 16/12, and then, yeah.
Okay, so what's our answer to the parentheses?
Um, 13/12, and then
Good. Yeah. So we need to go 3 times 13/12. And how do we multiply with the whole number 3?
make it 3/1.
Good. And then we're going to divide by what's the improper for the 1 and 1/12?
13/12.
Good. And then we multiply and flip it. Let's do 12/13. Now, I had an inkling I should go ahead and put that into improper. Like instead of just doing this multiplication problem, I had an inkling we should go ahead and find out what the division is because look how well this serves us to have the division. We can just cancel these out. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I didn't mean to erase, but same thing, same thing.
Yeah.
So those, yeah, 12/13s and 13/12s are going to cancel each other out. They're inverses, but also just because on the diagonals, everything will cancel out to ones. So it's just 1 times 1 times 1, right? So 3/1 times 1 is itself. So it's just 3. And then we need to come back to that exponent in the corner. So 3 to the third is our final answer. What will that give us?
9.
So 3 squared is 9, and then we need to multiply by 3 again.
I hate my 9s.
3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3, 27.
27.
Okay, good. Okay, so where else did you want to go?
The third one on page 82. I thought I had it, and then it just went to a really big number, and I felt like it was wrong. And then I looked at the answer, and it was.
Okay, the one that starts with 3 2/3.
Yeah.
So we know we want everything in fractions, so we might as well just start by changing the decimals to fractions. Did you do that much? Do you have an answer for that?
Yeah. The decimal is 2 7/10, and then the next one's 35/100.
Okay. And like I always automatically want to reduce like 35/100 I could divide by 5. We could make those divide by 5, then I'll have a 20 denominator, and then the 3/4 change that to a 20 denominator. Let's go ahead and do that. So divide by 5, divide by 5. On the 3/4, we're going to times by 5. Okay, so then we have 15 take away 7 and keep it over 20. And we could reduce that even further, right? So that gives us 8/20. Divide both those by 4 and you get 2/5. Okay, so that whole parentheses, this parentheses came down to 2/5. Okay, what's the next step?
The exponent.
And that will bring it to what?
4 over 25.
Good. Okay, what's the next step?
Multiplication.
Yeah, we want to do that multiplication. And to do multiplication, we need improper numbers. So what's 3 and 1/8 as an improper number?
25 over 8.
Okay, and how do we cross cancel?
The 25s go down to 1, and then the 8 goes down to 2, and the 4 goes down to 2.
Good. So the answer there for that much is
2.
1/2, right? Because the two's on the bottom.
Oh, that might have.
Okay, then what's our next step?
The subtract.
2 and 7/10. Take away 1/2.
So you have to make the 2 a 10, so you gotta multiply it by 5.
Good.
So then 2 and 3/10. No, 2 and 2/10.
And then reduce it.
2 and 1/5.
Good. So now we need 3 and 2/3 divided by 2 and 1/5. How do we say 2 and 1/5 in improper fraction?
11/5.
Good. And then how do we say 3 and 2/3 in an improper fraction?
11/3.
Good. All right, how do we do this? 11/3 divided by 11/5.
You multiply and then you flip it.
Good. Okay, and then what?
It's 5 over 3, so then
5 over 3, and then it wants it in an a mixed.
so it's 1 and 2/3.
Yep. And there's the final answer. Look how colorful. Isn't it pretty? Math is pretty. Okay, any other problem you want to do?
Page 78, number 3.
Okay. Okay, go ahead and do that exponent first. How are you going to do that?
It's 4 over 81.
Good. And then how do we handle 1.7 take away 1 and 1/4?
You gotta change the 1.7 to a fraction, which is 1 and 7/10.
Okay.
So then you gotta make the denominators the same. So you multiply it by 4, and then you multiply the other one by 10, which it gives you.
We can go smaller. We don't have to go all the way up to 40 as a denominator. What could we do that smaller?
20. So then it's 9 over 20.
Right. So we need 481s times 9 over 20. Okay, how do we cross cancel?
Make the 4 a 1 and make the 20 a 5. And then make the 81 a 9 and the 9 a 1.
Good. So what's your final answer?
1 over 45.
Good. All right. So are you confident now to finish up the rest of the homework?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Just slowly, step by step. It's intimidating, but if you just break it down into small steps and ask yourself what's next, make sure you're changing all the decimals to fractions. Yep. Okay. Good work.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.